The 6-day blockage of the Suez Canal in 2021, caused by the grounding of the Ever Given, a massive 250,000-ton container ship, resulted in daily losses of about $10 billion to global trade. Egypt, which earns $8 billion annually from the Suez, saw significant disruptions. The 400-meter-long vessel's mishap delayed deliveries and caused oil and liquefied natural gas prices to spike, with daily losses estimated between $12 and $15 million. This incident highlighted the vulnerability of the Suez Canal and underscored the need for alternative west-east transit routes. In response, global attention has shifted to efforts to develop a new trade route along the Arctic Ocean, known as the Northern Sea Route. Explorers have long been captivated by the legendary Northwest Passage, a sea route that links the Atlantic and Pacific via the Canadian Arctic archipelago. This passage was once seen as the Arctic's gateway to a faster and more profitable trade route to East Asia. However, the dangerously cold conditions made navigation extremely difficult, if not impossible, keeping this route out of reach for centuries. It wasn't until the effects of climate change began to take hold that the Northwest Passage became a more realistic option. With the melting of the Arctic ice, this route's now uniquely positioned as a potential major global trade corridor, offering both immense opportunities and new risks as shipping is diverted through these shorter Arctic routes. This raises important questions. What are the benefits of shipping through the Arctic compared to existing routes? And how might this increase in maritime transport in the Arctic affect global trade? To explore this, let's first consider the advantages of transporting goods through the Panama Canal versus the Arctic route. The Panama Canal, completed in 1914, has connected the world's two largest oceans, playing a crucial role in global trade. Since Panama took control of the canal in 1999 under the Panama Canal Authority, it's become a cornerstone of Panama's diplomatic and economic strategies. Right now, approximately 40% of Panama's economy relies on the canal and its associated services. In recent years, the canal's revenues have multiplied nearly five-fold since 1999. In 2019, the Panama Canal set a record, generating between $2.5 and $3 billion in toll revenue. Today, up to 90% of the world's crude oil and natural gas tankers pass through this crucial waterway. Despite its expanded docks and modern technological advances, the Panama Canal faces a profound challenge from melting polar ice, which could make Arctic passages more desirable. The shorter routes offered by these Arctic alternatives could significantly reduce shipping costs, a key factor in the Panama Canal's competitiveness since its inception. The canal has revolutionized global trade by enabling direct maritime transit between the Atlantic and Pacific Oceans. But if a more convenient and cost-effective route opens up, it could threaten the canal's dominance. Since 1869, the Suez Canal has been the primary route for international trade between West Asia, Europe, and North America. But it's not without its vulnerabilities. The canal is one of several critical choke points along the route, where disruptions can severely impact global trade. A choke point is defined by three main characteristics. It occupies a strategically important location, it's controlled by a small number of countries, or even just one, like Egypt with their Suez Canal, and many countries rely on it for their trade. On the traditional Suez Canal route between Europe and Asia, there are three main choke points: the Suez Canal, the Bab el-Mandeb, known as the Gate of Grief, and the Strait of Malacca. These locations are vital for global commerce, but are also prone to disruptions. The Bab el-Mandeb has seen numerous pirate attacks since 2005 and is threatened by naval mines placed by Houthi rebels in the Red Sea. From 2015 to 18, international coalition forces disarmed nearly 90 naval mines in this area. The Strait of Malacca, critical for East Asian countries like China and Japan, is another vulnerable point. Any blockage here could impact 25% of world trade and 33% of global oil trade. The vulnerabilities and limitations of the Panama Canal are becoming more apparent as the Arctic sea routes emerge as viable alternatives. The canal's reliance on geopolitical stability in the region, along with its susceptibility to blockages and congestion, raises concerns about its long-term viability. A shift in trade routes to the Arctic could have significant economic implications, leading to decreased revenue and operational challenges for the canal. This shift could affect not only Panama's economy, but also global trade dynamics. The Arctic Ocean is experiencing unprecedented ice melt rates, losing approximately 3 million square kilometers of ice since 1979. Last summer, ice is being reduced by around 776,000 square kilometers a year. The Northwest Passage, which could become ice-free during the summer, offers the fastest route from East Asia to the east coast of North America. providing a viable alternative to the longer journey across the Suez Canal. Additionally, the Northeast Passage along the northern coast of Russia serves as another possible alternative for international shipping. Between the Northwest Passage and the Northeast Passage lies the potentially more challenging but direct transpolar route, which could bypass many of the territorial navigation and depth obstacles of the Northwest Passage. Scientists suggest that summer ice in the Northwest Passage could disappear by 2030. The question of whether the increasing use of the Northwest Passage is a trend or an anomaly has become increasingly relevant, especially after several notable transits in the last decade. For instance, in 2013, the Nordic vessel Orion bypassed the Panama Canal, saving $200,000 in 4 days on its voyage from Vancouver to Finland via the Northwest Passage. In 2017, the Finnish icebreaker Nordica set a record by completing a similar 10,000-kilometer voyage in only 24 days. While these individual transits have had minimal overall impact, they set a precedent that could soon lead to a significant increase in cross-Arctic traffic. This poses a potential threat to the supremacy of the Panama and Suez Canals, as the appeal of shorter routes with reduced emissions and costs may increasingly attract major shipping companies. The development of the Arctic Sea Route comes at a steep price, with significant investments needed to turn this ambitious project into a reality. One of the primary costs involves building the necessary infrastructure like ports, terminals, and navigation aids to support the anticipated increase in shipping activity in the region. Additionally, acquiring and maintaining ice-breaking fleets is crucial to ensure safe passage through the Arctic's frozen waters. Operating costs also play a major role in the financial viability of the Arctic Sea Route. These costs include maintaining infrastructure, implementing security measures to protect against piracy and other threats, and establishing emergency response capabilities in case of accidents or environmental disasters. When comparing estimated costs with potential revenue streams and economic returns, a thorough cost-benefit analysis is essential to assess the project's feasibility. While the initial investment may be substantial, potential savings in fuel costs, transit times, along with increased efficiency in global trade could offset these expenses in the long run. However, navigating and operating along the Arctic Sea Route presents numerous challenges that must be carefully addressed. One of the primary obstacles is the region's unpredictable ice conditions. Icebergs, ice flows, and changing ice formations pose risks to vessels, requiring ships with reinforced structures and crews trained to handle Arctic temperatures, a costly and time-consuming endeavor. Beyond ice conditions, the Arctic's notorious for its extreme and unpredictable weather, fog, storms, and rapidly changing temperatures. These factors complicate navigation and increase the likelihood of accidents, emphasizing the need for robust safety protocols and emergency response measures. Additionally, the limited infrastructure along the Arctic shipping route presents logistical challenges. The scarcity of ports, terminals, and support services can hinder operations and drive up costs, necessitating strategic planning and investment in infrastructure development. A critical factor in determining the Arctic route's immediate threat to the Panama and Suez Canal is whether the Arctic can safely accommodate non-specialized vessels soon. The International Maritime Organization, IMO, is actively addressing this issue through the Polar Code, which requires different levels of preparedness for Arctic operations and imposes restrictions on ship activities in Arctic waters. These requirements include the use of alternative fuel sources and improving structural integrity with double hulls and reinforced bottoms. Efforts to ban the use of heavy fuel oil in the Arctic, though cost-effective and commonly used in shipping, have been controversial and persist. These regulations could limit the number of cargo ships eligible to navigate the Arctic, reducing the appeal of unrestricted passage due to the need for more expensive fuel, specialized crew training, and modern or adapted ships. These challenges are just the beginning of the costs involved in transforming the Arctic into a profitable and safe shipping route. The isolation of the Arctic and obstacles to development may present definitive barriers to replacing the supremacy of the Panama and Suez Canals. Increased shipping activity in the Arctic also raises several environmental concerns that must be carefully assessed. One of the main issues is the potential impact on marine ecosystems, wildlife habitats, and indigenous communities that call the Arctic home. Noise pollution, wildlife disturbance, and the risk of oil spills associated with shipping can have detrimental effects on the fragile Arctic environment. To mitigate these risks, measures must be implemented to prevent pollution, manage oil spills, and reduce carbon emissions from shipping in the Arctic. Strict regulations, advanced spill response technology, and sustainable practices like using cleaner fluids and implementing energy efficiency measures are essential to minimize the environmental footprint of activities in this region. So, do you think the Arctic Sea Route will eventually replace the Panama and Suez Canals? Leave your thoughts down there in the comments. Thanks for watching and see you next time.